So what we're going to do now is play the Quiet Sleep. This is pretty much a final version, so it should be very similar to what you play if you buy the game. So let's get right into it. Over here you can see this thing sparkling. Now that is our first goal, and it's to wake up. This requires energy. So taking a look around, we have ourself, but that doesn't produce much of anything. We have this thing here, which is a will mine, which makes will. But will is not energy. And we have this large green thing. Now this is our adulthood trait, and you missed the time before this trait. And you can see here that we can build more will mines, or we can build an energy spring, which make will and make energy respectively. Since we need energy for this, we'll just put down an energy spring. We'll do that here, so that it's fairly close to the goal that we want to use it for, and just hook it up. Now to build anything that requires will, which is why we clicked on this will mine, and then we just click on the self, and we're going to see a train run. That's a train of thought, which is picking up will and putting it into this energy spring. So now that we have this, again, once again we pause the game so that I can just explain this. Now that we have this energy spring that makes energy, and we have this goal that requires energy, it's just a simple matter of connecting them. Like so, you can make new paths with this button, you can remove paths with this button, you can demolish stuff on the screen with this final button. And then just starting a train from this goal, where you start with the goal that requires energy, click on the thing that produces energy, and then you click on the self, and you let things run. There you go. Now that we've done that, we're going to, now that we've woken up, we have a new goal, which is to unpack, and we have a new thing that we can build, which is to do chores. So let's start by looking at this new goal of ours, and you can see this requires 2 chores. Now, we just unlocked the ability to build this thing, which makes chores, but unlike the previous 2, it requires something to make chores, and it requires energy. So we'll just place this here. Once again, to construct something, you need will, right? It takes will to start something new. So we'll just connect it to the will mine here, and we'll let that run. Now to get these chores, we need chores, which are made by this. That needs energy, which is made by this. And that doesn't need anything, so we can just click on the self again, and this train will run. While that's happening, we can see that our will mine is inactive. So we'll use it to build a second will mine, so that later on we can construct a lot more. Right? And there we go. So now you can see we took will from here to make this, and we're taking energy, we're keeping it here, and it gets converted into chores, which go there. And there we have it. We've completed our second goal, which was to unpack. Now doing that has let us build a new tower, which lets us paint, and it's opened up 2 new goals for us. So the first is to read a letter from home, so let's take a look at that. Now this makes sadness due to missing our home, and it requires 3 will. Now, as of right now, we don't have any way to deal with sadness, so we're not going to do that one just yet. Instead, we're going to look at exploring the city, which requires energy, which we have free. Now, we also unlocked this paint tower, which takes energy and produces damage, which we can use to keep a handle on our emotions. Right? So what we're going to do is we're going to build a second energy spring, because we're going to need a fair bit of energy right now. And we're just going to hook this up and connect it like so, so that we can start completing that. Now that we have this energy, we'll build our first tower to help us deal with emotions. And this requires energy to be built. So we'll just hook it up to that energy spring right there. Now emotions are going to try to reach ourself, at which point we'll lose control because of them. So we want to place this somewhere on the path where we think emotions are going to, which we think emotions are going to take. And basically, if anything wants to get to the self, it has to come through this square right here, or this hex right here. So it's a good place to put our tower. Meanwhile, we can see that this goal is getting completed. And now that it's done, we've unlocked a new trait, right? Much like adulthood. So this is the new city that you're living in. It's new to you and not yet home. So over here we can build a bunch of things. We can build a travel tower that'll convert energy into travel, which we can use for other things. Or we can build a walk tower, which will again convert energy into damage, just like the paint tower. This also lets us build goals, where we can become a cleaner or become a cabbie. Essentially we can get a job. And both of those require travel. So I think we'll start that right now. So first of all, we need to build this tower, which is easy enough. We'll put it over here actually instead of here, so that later on if we want to put walk towers here to help defend ourselves, we can do that. So we'll just build that, and we'll also build a goal. So today I think we'll become a cleaner instead of becoming a cabbie. And we'll just hook that up too. Right, and now we'll let this run. We want this paint tower to finish before we complete this goal, so that we have some defense against against our emotions. Now to become a cleaner, this also makes emotions, so we're a little bit stuck here. We're a little bit stuck on waiting for this to complete. So while that's happening, we'll actually just build a second tower here to improve our defenses. Now maybe we should have built that here, because all of these emotions look like they'll come down this path. But I think for the future it'll be better if we have this side defended better, just given how much space there is here. So now that this is 60% complete, I think we can start this train. And even though it's going to create an emotion, hopefully this tower will be complete before it reaches. That might not be the case. But we've completed that goal. You still miss home, but you're here now and you have work to do. So what this does is this has unlocked an entirely new trait for us, the homeland. It takes more than moving to break these ties. Now over here we can build thoughts of home, which will get us more energy, and as you can see, energy is something of a premium for us. And it'll let us build a work ethic, which will make industry. Now we have no use for that just yet, but we do need the energy, so we're just going to place a couple of these down while we can. Now over here you see another trait that's built up. Now this is our sadness at missing home, right? And we can build pain mines on our sadness to make pain, and we can convert that pain into sympathy. Now we need neither pain nor sympathy at the moment, so we're just going to leave this be. You can also see this tells you what made it. It was created by reading our letter from home. So this is going to start creating these. This has all of these things that make sadness, and that sadness is going to try to get to ourselves. So let's see if our defenses are going to be complete in time. And see, we've just finished this tower just as the sadness is on its way. Also, we finished this thing that makes thoughts of home. So what we're going to do is we're going to start building an industry mine, even though we don't need it just now, because at some point we'll probably need it. Also, since our defenses are pretty much set up, let's start becoming a cleaner. So for this, we need 3 travel as we go around looking for jobs. No one likes foreigners, but some people will employ them. So we just click on that, and now we can get our energy from either of these two. We'll take it from here because it's closer, and so this will get done a little faster. And we'll let that run. Oh goodness, so you see, we had defenses set up, but there was just so much sadness that it overwhelmed our defenses essentially. So what happened right there was we lost control, and we had to regain control before we could continue playing the game. So that's fine. Right now we can just let this run, and see here is yet another trait, and this is casual racism, which is created by becoming a cleaner. So like the sadness trait over here, we can build out stuff on it, we can make more frustration, and we can convert that frustration to energy if we want. However, right now we seem to have enough energy, so I don't think we need to do that just yet. Now, over here, and in fact I'll show you this a little better now. So now we can see this anger racing towards ourselves, right? And over here we have our paint tower that'll damage it. So as it comes closer, you can watch what happens, where this paint tower is going to shoot it, right? Just like that. So now that that's happened, this paint tower has lost a charge. So to recharge it, it takes energy to produce damage, so we'll just hook it up to one of our energy producing towers and let that run. Meanwhile, we've completed becoming a cleaner, and there are worse ways to survive. So what this has done is this has unlocked two new things for us, so let's take a look at that. One is this new tower which takes chores and industry and creates work, and the other is a work shift which requires work and makes cash. So let's start one of those, because we can do with the money. We have no cash at the moment. And we'll just hook it up like so. Now, this requires industry, we've seen. So what we're going to do is we're just going to create a second path over here so that we can get the energy and industry this needs and use that here. Right? This actually needs chores, so we're probably going to go energy to chores, then pick up the industry, take that here, and then complete our goal. And so having this little shortcut will make that whole thing faster. Additionally, this will push more emotions down this path over here, which you can see is better defended. We'll just let that run. Our defenses are holding up, but you can see we're getting worn down a fair bit. And over here we have a work shift, which requires work. So for that it's just chores, which which requires chores and industry. You can get the industry here, you can get the chores here, and we can get the energy there. So now you see it'll come from the self, take the energy, use that to get chores, pick up the industry, use that to clean, and use that to complete our work shift. So let's just let that run. Meanwhile, we're still trying to recharge this, and you can see it's taking quite a beating. And that was the first chapter. So what we're going to do is we're going to end this video, and then you can we'll restart from exactly here in the next one. Cool.